Stand-up comedian Bill Hicks said it best when, and may he rest in peace, I think it was in an interview in the early 90s. He said, religious figures and politicians, they beg people to see them for free. Comedians are the only people that people pay money. And here's the very important distinction. He said they don't pay money to the comic to watch them. They give the comedian money and say, make me listen. The distinction between make me listen and I'm here to see you is the distinction between humility and egotistical approach. You are in service of the crowd when you have to make them listen, and the crowd is in service of you if they're there to see you. Musicians, the crowd is in service of you. Comedians, we are in service of the people. We have to give them a reason to be there, and they are remunerating us. They are giving us money in kind to support our ability to do that. So when it comes to comedians like Bassem Youssef, he means so much to so many people because of what he's been through. And having him on today is a great, great honor. So without further ado, I think it's time that we call our esteemed guest. And I'm very excited for this. Last time we had Brian Callen. Thanks again to him for an incredible interview. And I forgot to take the number off. So I'm going to do that right now before I jump on Skype and we call Bassem. So let me just do that right now. And Bassem Youssef, video calling him right now. Hello, Bassem.
How you doing, man?
I am so great, man. It is so good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How's our audience? How are they? Are they doing well?
The audience is doing amazing. The comments have been flowing in like crazy. This is one of our highest viewed episodes. People are so excited. For the first time, I have a question that was sent to me in advance.
Oh my God.
On WhatsApp, which I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you later on. I've never. You're an Arab. I'm an Arab. Things coming in advance, and this came from an Arab is a huge accomplishment.
Because we're always late for everything, except of course when we're doing these time bombs. Now we're very punctual.
Yeah, this is very, very, very true. Ladies and gentlemen, our very good guest today, Bassem Youssef, is joining us. I don't know, Bassem, if you were watching the stream earlier. I did give an introduction to you earlier in the show, and I just talked about the importance of having you today with us because you are a comedian that has a perspective that is so unique because of what you've been through, what you've been through. And I'm going to try to cover so much today, but I do want to apologize in advance. I think it's impossible with a guest like Bassem Youssef to actually be able to cover all we could talk about potentially in one episode. I think it would be difficult to cover it in a lifetime.
I'm just a multi-faceted gem that's in the mud waiting to be explored and discovered.
Yeah. Waiting to be discovered, who's been on The Tonight Show, on Stephen Colbert with 3.5 million followers
and still didn't get a freaking special. What the fuck, man?
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy. Man, we're going to talk about all of that today. First of all, Bassem, I want to tell people something that's very interesting about you. You are a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
And so I have a question, and I'm gonna say the question, and I'm gonna rephrase it, and I would love to get your answer on this. How do you go from being a heart surgeon to a satirist? To rephrase, how do you go from making your parents so proud to disappointing them so incredibly in one career?
Well, they kind of, when they saw the money flowing, they weren't disappointed anymore. And that is what changes everything. So, here's the thing. I mean, I have never, ever planned for it. And I think what happened was there was a catalyst, which is the Arab Spring, a revolution.
Yeah.
And our world was never the same anymore. Yeah, basically, there was a revolution, people in the streets, and I was just doing my job as a doctor, trying to fix people's injuries, trying to make a difference, basically. But the thing is, it's the disparity of what you saw on the street, and then when you came back and you watched television. And our state-run media is basically, and I say this on my shows all the time, it is like, imagine a show written by Alex Jones, hosted by Sean Hannity, broadcasted on a North Korean television and shared on your timeline by a Russian bot. That was the definition
of our... So basically, Fox News is regular programming.
No, that is Fox News on steroids.
On steroids. That's true, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Jokes aside.
It's Fox News on steroids, ecstasy, and cocaine altogether.
My
That
goodness.
was our state-run media.
Yeah.
I mean, we discovered fake news way before you guys started talking about it. You know,
the Middle East is the master of fake news.
It's kind of, even back in ancient times, it's kind of like pharaohs will come and basically erase the mention of every king before him as like, I did this, Obama was bad, I was good, and that was, of course, that was the time of the pharaohs. That is we were kind of like ahead of it. So basically, what I did is just like organically, I just did the show on YouTube, and at that time, I thought I was like already going to Cleveland. I was already accepted to actually start a career in Cleveland.
Wow!
As a pediatric heart surgeon, and I thought, all right, I'm just gonna put the videos online, and then maybe in a year or so, when I'm in America, a producer will discover the show, and then he will call me. It's like, hey, why when you come back, why don't you try something on television? But in 3 weeks, boom, millions of views.
So it started out with you posting your own clips online.
Yes, and then in 7 weeks, I was signing my first TV deal. It's crazy.
And you were on the biggest. It was the biggest show, and this is important for our viewers to know. Not only in Egypt. This was the biggest show in the entire region.
Yeah.
Bassem Youssef cannot walk anywhere in the Middle East without being stopped. He is a massive, massive name. Lebanon, we were all tuning in. Everybody everywhere was tuning in for every episode of yours. How was that? How did you what always shocked me is you were so comfortable with so many eyeballs. And was it because you felt as a heart surgeon that you went from physically repairing hearts to working on the heart of the spiritual heart of the region? Did you feel like that higher calling brought out the best in you? Because you looked, that's why whenever I watch, I'm like, where did this guy come from? Like that is not, to sit in front of cameras, to own a show like that is practically impossible for anyone. But you came out of nowhere and did it. And you're a heart surgeon. Once again, I keep repeating that. You're not
I know,
a performer.
but it's just like you put it so poetically. You know when you do something like by pure luck, it's like, oh my God, the way that you have, just like you stick that landing and you look amazing doing it. It's like, I have no idea. As a matter of fact, the whole thing about fame and the whole thing about like being exposed, a lot of people thought that like I was arrogant. But the thing is, I could not deal with fame the way that famous people deal with. For me, fame was very toxic. And this was the only way that I kept grounded when with that much exposure. So I never actually lived the celebrity life, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. Before the show, I had a 2009 Nissan car. That was my car, a 2009, right? And I left Egypt 2014, right?
Okay.
And I never changed my car, and that is like one thing to tell you that like my life, my personal life. I fought, I resisted to have any kind of change. I didn't live the celebrity life. I didn't go Dan Bilzerian on their asses. I just like, I mean, I wish, but I didn't. But the thing is, there was something about me telling me every single day of my life that this has an expiration date, and this is very abnormal. And the kind of fame and exposure is too much, and this will end somehow. So I better stay grounded, so not to be like shattered and destroyed when that happens. And when everything was taken away from me in a blink of an eye, I mean, I was the same person because I never changed.
That's true.
So the thing.
But you still have a lot of fame, and you still haven't changed. You're one of the most humble people I've spoken to. And
because I think we as people, I mean, you, me, people who have known, I think it's a blessing, and it's also very fragile because fame and love, and as you know, especially insane love, can turn into hate. Over time,
hate and love are the same emotion. It's just
exactly, and many people who hate me now used to love me, and it's because I didn't like meet their expectations, whatever these expectations are. So I was always, I mean, if social media was not important for me to run my business, to run I would have been off.
Me too.
All social media platforms.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh my God, you have like how many million viewers? That must be amazing." So that sucks. That sucks. In Egypt,
it's not amazing. It's necessary.
Yes, and in Egypt I had 40 million people watching every episode. 40 million people in Egypt alone.
In Egypt alone, there were millions across the region.
And people say like, "Oh my God, oh that would have been amazing." I said, "No, that sucks. You know what does it mean to have 40 million people having an opinion about you?
Yeah,
It's crazy. When people write a post on Facebook and they have 10 people commenting, their days are different. Imagine 40 million people. 40 million people having an opinion about what you say, how you say it, how funny it is, how not funny it is, like how political or correct or incorrect it is. It is crazy the amount of pressure that you have. And now, and I don't want to like kind of like shade some darkness, like put some shades on this.
no,
interview.
not at all. No, go as dark as you want.
But like I understood why celebrities take away their own lives. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It is crazy.
From my experience, what I've noticed also in to be able to relate to people, you kind of have gone through something, right? Like if you listen to a song and it hits you, they're usually singing about something that's very, relatable. So
yeah, like Taylor Swift, like every single ex, she has like a song for everybody. Yes,
like that song. Now you're just somebody that I used to know was a huge hit because everybody's been in a relationship and they connected. So your ability to stay humble as a comic is almost a survival necessity because you need to stay relatable. So it's good it comes natural to you. But what's interesting to me in all of this is that you're saying that when you had all of these eyeballs on you, instead of taking like basking in the like, this is it, I'm comfortable, like everybody knows me, I can say one thing and change things. You understood that the pressure of that moment changed your entire life dynamic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And have you ever been comfortable since?
No, never. I mean, a lot of people saw me performing. I mean, in the show, you saw me like performing and being loud and being energetic. Once the light is out, I go back to a very depressed place because I don't know if this show is good enough, and if it is good enough,
the anxiety.
How can I kind of top it the next week? It was, and I said this before. The day that I received the news that my show was canceled, I was extremely sad, but extremely relieved.
Wow.
I felt that I was liberated.
Wow.
And actually, this is something that I struggle with right now because this was not just a comedy show. It's a very politically loaded show. Everybody has an opinion about it. Yeah. It's not now when I go into a comedy club and I perform. People come in, have a couple of beers, halal beers, of course, and fries and whatever, and then they say, and everybody's happy,
Yeah.
But the thing is, because it was such a politically disturbed and confusing, and there was a lot of turmoil, it was very loaded with things that should not be loaded on a satirist or a political commentator. A political satirist. And now when I am trying kind of like to break free from that. I've trying to reinvent myself here in America, trying to do shows in English, trying to do stand-up, and it still haunts me. It still haunts me. Can you imagine? It still haunts me.
It's your brand.
People come to me after the show. Yeah, we loved it, but
why didn't you do more politics?
Can you please talk in Arabic and tell us about what happened in Egypt last night? That's not my thing. Yeah. And I discovered that it's like 99% of the questions that come to me. Why don't you continue doing the show? Why don't you go back to the show? Why don't you start it again on YouTube? And I discovered that I was supposed to be someone who is locked, who is trapped into the success of that show. But I discovered after 6 years that I'm not the one who's trapped. They are the one who's still trapped. They are still one that were living in 2013. They're still the one who still think that a tweet can change things in like 2012. Things are different, and the rules of the game are different. And still, people have this nostalgia, this longing to a very short part of history where people felt that there are hope and they could be free, and it was a beautiful feeling. But now we are addicted to it like cocaine. We're addicted to it like a bad habit, and we still want to recreate the moment in a time and a place that you cannot recreate this moment because you need to move forward and try to find other ways. But people just like, and now, and this is where satire is harmful. You know why?
Why?
Because when with all that you look up for, with all you aspire, is someone to come up and just make fun about the people that you hate, you became complacent in the status quo. Because basically, you see someone making fun of like the president that you hate or the leadership that you despise, and then you sit there on your ass on the couch. It's like, ha ha ha, ha, that is so funny, and then you don't change anything
because
you become lazy.
You feel like you feel like you've done something just by partaking in the exercise.
But you haven't. You just cracked some jokes, but the guys are still in power, and a kind of like a different version of it. It's happening in the United States. Mm-hmm. In a way that like people now are just like laughing at Trump, but when it comes to election times, people are staying home and they're not voting.
That's true.
So basically, because they felt, I shared this amazing episode by Trevor Noah. I just sent this clip by Colbert, and that should take care of Trump. And the same thing is happening in Egypt. It's like, yeah. Why don't you go and make fun of Sisi, make fun of the president, make fun of the thing? And it's like, all right, what will it change? You're just gonna sit on your ass doing nothing.
This, I wanted to ask the question from our viewer later on, but because of what you just said right now, it's actually very, I'm going to ask you right now, because this is the natural thing. His question was, and this comes from Ahmad. I don't have his full name open in front of me, so I'm going to apologize. Let me just make sure that I give him credit, because I'm sure it will mean a lot to him. If I can find him right now. Can I find it? Yep, Ahmad Faris. And Ahmad Faris asks, which, in your opinion, is more important? A mainstream that delivers the facts and encourages people to put its trust in the government in order not to cause conflict in the nation, or a media that encourages people to make a change, however their future and the future of their country would be uncertain if they tried heading down that road? So basically, like, would you, in your experience as a media person, with everything you've seen revolutionary, do you think that it's important to have a media that is kind of in touch with stability and pro-government, but factual? If that's, I don't even know if that's possible.
So there's a lot of misconception in that question, because here they put stability, and there's a very confused, twisted definition of stability, because stability is just like shut the fuck up and let the government do its job. The media has always been... That's
complacency. That's not stability.
Yeah. The media... There's a reason why media is called the fourth authority. Because it should be some sort of a guardian, should be like a watchdog on the government. Because the thing is, if the government is strong, they wouldn't care about the media tearing into it.
They wouldn't care about a guy telling jokes.
Because I understand where Ahmed is coming from. Because this is kind of like the narrative that's been repeated time and time and time again in our Arab world. Al-istiqrar, unhadibad, stability, and we don't need to ruffle some feathers. No, we need to ruffle some feathers.
Yes, we do.
Because you need to hold those people in the government accountable. In Europe, in America, there are much better leaders than in the Middle East, and they are being torn apart every single day.
Yeah.
And it's not out of hate, and it's not like out of being mean. It's out of pushing them always into this direction of making better. Because this is the problem of our perception as Arabs to our leaders. We look to our leaders. We look our know-it-all. But in Europe and in America, they are public servants.
They are representatives.
You have paid for their position by your votes, and you continue to pay by your tax money.
Yeah.
So he should work for you.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No, we have
the leader, the father, the inspirational, the مش عارف ايه, and everybody should. So, and the thing is, like, what does he mean by factual? If a factual media should actually allow all kinds of point of view, including people attacking the government. And if the government is strong, they should be strong enough
to take it,
to defend itself. And if the government is strong, they wouldn't care about someone making fun of them.
But they're not strong.
I mean, in America, before Trump, of course, you had like the correspondent dinners, White House correspondent dinners, where the White House hires a comedian to come and tear the president apart.
Yeah.
And we didn't see the American empire fall because of that. No. It started to fall when Trump stopped doing it.
So, do you like Trump? I'm kidding.
I tell you what I think about Trump.
Yeah, let's hear it.
A lot of people might think that he is horrible, he's racist, he's bigoted, he's terrible, he's incompetent. He reminds me of home.
He does. He's the most Arab. He's the most Arab. What I drew a distinction, which was very funny in Lebanon, is so he's orange, and he has his son-in-law in key positions. There's nepotism, and he came on the back of a lot of misunderstanding and bigotry and racism. And we have the exact same president in Lebanon, Orange Party, son-in-law in power, the same deal, and they came at the same time. I
was going to ask about the orange. How could you?
They're the Orange Party. They're the Orange Party. It's hilarious. In Lebanon, for those watching who might not know, are political groups, and they're all corrupt. I don't want to be singling out just one. It's not true. If you guys think I'm attacking one, that's not the case at all. The orange, we wear political parties wear colors like gangs. Yeah. So you have like the blue, like here you have the Crips and the Bloods in Los Angeles and the different gangs in America. In the Middle East, the gangs are the political groups and the people who follow them. They're thugs.
I appeared in a Lebanese show. I don't know if you've seen it. Called Minna Jar.
Yes, of course. So,
so the second one was the whole thing about the guy doing the blackface and everything. That was terrible. But the first one was about like political signs. The political banners. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that episode, no.
Oh, no, you have to see that.
Okay.
And so, like, me as an Egyptian coming into Beirut International Airport, I'm going to the streets, and I'm seeing all of these banners. And they are kind of like, and each one kind of like styled towards a certain leader. Mm-hmm. And I asked the driver, are you guys in the middle of election season?
No.
He said, no, it's always there.
Yeah.
And I said, like, you're basically commercializing election.
Yep.
So basically, Nabih Berri and Hassan Nasrallah and all of these people, it's like, have the Samsung phone. No, have an iPhone. And it's kind of like,
that would be so funny if they started doing product endorsements. And once again, for everybody listening, what Bassem Youssef is referring to, we have an insane amount of billboards in our country, and politicians all over the country have billboards of themselves, and then other people will actually donate a billboard, like a whole building, and it'll have the picture of their political leader, and it'll say donated by this dude, so that they can carry political favors later on.
You have to watch this clip because I kind of analyze. It's kind of like, because I looked at two things: the billboards and the slogans. And how it is kind of like, it's kind of like, one of them is like وقت الخطر قوات, and so is that the army? I said, no, that's the political. And then I see الكتائب, so is that the army? No, that's another part. And I'm kind of like, I'm having kind of like describing the conversation between me and the taxi drivers, how I'm, and it's kind of like, and it's kind of like when it was like the time when Al Hariri went to Salamat Albak because he had something with his heart, and I started actually to give ideas about what will be the next thing about someone with indigestion, and what will be the billboard if you write it for this, and it's kind of how to do it in a kind of a patriotic kind of wording. You have to watch this clip, man.
I am gonna check this clip out. I'm laughing so hard that you even know our politicians. I mean, as you should, because this was your job, literally, was a political satirist. Yeah. But transitioning from that, what's very interesting, and somebody asked me earlier to ask you this, do you still practice cardiology?
No.
Okay. Do you miss it? Does anybody, do any of your past patients, just like people come and they say, why don't you do the show again? Do any past patients come and go, why don't you do a heart surgery again?
Well, a past patient, do you mean like a dead patient?
No, I'm hoping they're not
hunting me in my dreams.
No, I mean as a patient from your past, not a patient who passed. God damn it!
I always tell people, like, when I took the decision. I took the decision to leave medicine and go into media, and because of that decision, many more people are alive today. When did you know you weren't a cardiologist and you were a comedian? Because your personality, I can only imagine. Cardiac surgeon, bitch.
Cardiac surgeon. Sorry.
Yes.
I honestly, in my ignorance, I thought a cardiologist was a cardiac surgeon. Can you be a cardiologist and not do surgery?
Yes, actually, cardiologists don't do surgery.
What?
Yes, there's very. Cardiologist is the guy who diagnoses you and he puts the stent inside of you.
Okay.
cardiac surgeon, basically, he gets the electrical saw and crack your patient.
So, as a cardiac surgeon, do you guys make fun of cardiologists? Like they're like.
No, they're basically making fun of us because they kicked our ass with all of their interventional things and basically took 90% of our jobs, motherfucker.
Oh my God, that is too funny.
No, so to answer your question, no, I don't miss it.
Okay, you don't miss it.
I don't miss the long hours. I don't miss the horrible shifts. I don't miss the long nights. No, I don't.
Now, this is interesting and something that fascinates me about you. For everybody watching, I think it's very clear that you look incredible. I don't know if it's how much you would attribute to natural genes or how much you would attribute to your plant-based way of life.
My genes suck, man. I think I have made a huge change 7 years ago. And 6.5 years ago, and basically I turned into plant-based diet. And just to answer your question, the transformation, I now look much better than I looked 7 years ago. It changed my life forever, and just like changing the way I eat, the way I treat my body every day, which is something you are pretty much like into it. And
I am into it, but we had a long conversation yesterday, to which I want to thank you again. Something you guys really need to know: Bassem, he cares. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I told him, like, I'm talking to him. If you see pictures of me from 10 years ago and you see pictures of me today, I look younger. I look so healthy. I look great. For me, that's on a journey of keto. Yes. And I was like, hey, you're on plant-based. I'm doing keto. And then Bassem was like, you're going to die. It's the worst thing you can do. And my face was like, went from excitement to just dread. I was like, wait, no, but it's clean keto. There's no such thing as clean keto. Your blood vessels are thickening. You're going to get cancer. You're going to die. There's no hope. And I'm like, but I eat eggs and cheese. Cheese is the worst thing you can. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? So
First of all, overall, Nemr is actually portraying this in a very wrong way. So yes,
I'm playing it up for comedic effect.
So yes, keto is gonna fucking kill you. That's one thing.
Yes.
No, but second, I respect anybody, and I don't want to just create animosities between all of the diet warriors.
Yeah, no, you're not like that. You're not like that.
No. I think people going into keto, I have a big problem with medical background and the scientific background. However, I respect them because they are actually committing to a regimen, and they are committing to something that is that needs a lot of dedication. And I think in a world where the options are endless with all the kinds of food, and many of them are very bad food, and they are delicious foods, you making the commitment to make a change, whether that is plant-based diet or keto or even the freaking Atkins diet, it's still, although I have like very negative opinions about that, but still it's dedication.
Yeah,
it's dedication.
Discipline. There's
and again, we are basically we react to what we hear in the media and what we think it works, and what works, and when we do it, hey, it works.
Yeah.
And I think when I don't want to have these discussions like, oh, keto is bad. Plant-based like sucks. I think there's always a middle ground of like, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
Because and I can actually share with you what I know from some medical doctors. Why is keto?
No, I mean, you're clearly more qualified. So when I was talking to you on the phone yesterday, it was interesting. I was asking you because I was like, I mean, you're a cardiac surgeon, so you understand science. I'm a clown, and
No.
And you have an understanding of this. What I love about, and before we continue with the questions, I do want to share the screen here for a second to show everybody. When I say Bassem Youssef cares, okay, let me just turn on screen sharing right here. This is Bassem Youssef, 3.5 million followers, his Instagram, which you're all seeing. Bassem, I'm sorry you can't see the screen, but I'm just going to orally take everyone through what they're seeing on screen. So here you see Bassem Youssef, 3.5 million followers. He doesn't need to do this. He started a page called plantb.tv, and I implore everybody to follow it. 76,400 followers. I don't know why I'm not following. And I just realized that, just did that. So go ahead and follow. And he's building this thing and he has these transformations of people that he's helping coach. He has free 21-day plans. And he's just doing this because he really cares. And I think that's something that's in your entire career. You cared when you did your show. You cared as a cardiac surgeon. You care as this. There's no reason for you to put any energy into this. This is an amazing page. There's incredible material out here. If any of you are interested in following the plant-based diet, or people like me who are interested in understanding something that is clearly so healthy, and I will definitely, I'm pretty much very excited to give this diet a shot. I really want to. I want to feel the effects. I'm sure there's incredible effects. I just haven't had the. I'm trying to get the groceries.
But you see, Nemr, look at you, for example. You have actually went to the keto diet, right?
Yeah.
And you felt the change,
yes.
right? And you felt how you improved, like your stamina, your health, your fitness, your body. And I'm sure that you are actually trying also to spread the knowledge because you feel good about it. I think this is something. I mean, we always say that humans are selfish. Part of that is true.
Yeah, but it's not.
We have this innate desire to spread knowledge and spread personal experience because we want people to feel good as we did.
For example, I want you to feel what I'm feeling. You got to feel this. It's amazing.
You watch a great movie, guys. You have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You watch it's like, oh, have you seen Veep? Have you seen Westworld? Have you seen Breaking Bad? You have to watch it. It's the best show ever.
You guys have to watch Breaking Bad, by the way. Yes, please go.
Of course. and you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
There's no obligation for you to do it. But when it's something that touches you personally, you are more motivated to actually share that, right?
Yeah,
because you want people to feel that, right? Because kind of like, oh, I've seen the light.
Yeah, you have, and you show it. And I understand there can be a huge debate over keto because there's fat and there's so many things. I doubt. I've also made jokes. You've made jokes. We all make jokes about vegans, vegetarians, keto. We make jokes about anybody who's militant. And as you called them on the phone yesterday, you told, what was the word you used them? Extremist vegan or militant?
Militant vegans.
Militant vegans. But all joking aside, it's difficult to look at a diet like the plant-based diet and point anything negative out of it. A lot of people say you can't be on the plant-based diet and be healthy. Clearly, that's not true. There is countless examples of people who are very healthy. People say you have low energy levels.
But at the same time, there is a bad way to do vegan.
There is a bad way to do anything.
So there's bad keto. There's bad vegans. There's bad vegans. So there's a lot of people who conflate. A lot of people who do vegans for moral issues, for the animals, which I totally respect.
100%. Joaquin Phoenix is one of them.
They take out the animal products, which is great, but many of them still keep the processed products, even if they're vegans, and they're not good. There's nothing good about refined sugar; it's still vegan. There's nothing good about soda; it's still vegan.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about all of these processed stuff that basically that are not healthy, but they're still vegan. But so that's why I tell you can still be vegan and unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I tell people it's not just like vegan is just half of the word. It is a whole food diet that actually can help you become better.
So if for the people watching right now who have heard about this, maybe are on the fence about this or are curious, what would be if you tell somebody I highly recommend the plant-based diet because, what would the because be?
I would say it will reduce the inflammation of your body. It will increase your immunity. It will increase your energy, and it will protect you and from future chronic diseases that it's been plagued into our societies, like diabetes, obesity, hypertension, high cholesterol, autoimmune disease, and even would reverse some of these diseases. And this is actually how I got into plant-based diet. I had a friend of mine who was an MS. And an MS, multiple sclerosis, is the boogeyman of medicine.
Multiple sclerosis is just a terrible. They don't know why it happens. They don't know how to cure it. It's just so. Tell this story about how you got into it, because this fascinated me. And I want to thank everybody, by the way, on Twitch who's following and subscribing. But of course, we have our guests now, so I'm not shouting you out individually. Please tell us this story.
So I had a friend of mine who used to be with me in school, high school together, and I knew that he had MS, and I was horrified. And then But he said, no, that was MS 8 years ago. Now he kind of like got it under control. It's like, no, nobody gets MS got under control. And I went to him and he said, yeah, it's true. 2006, I was diagnosed by MS. I went to Mayo Clinic. They told me 5 years' time you're going to be on a wheelchair. 10 years' time you're going to be totally incapacitated. Now, 14 years later, he's back to playing water polo. Then the guy
playing water polo, one of the most intense. Yeah. So this guy's on a plant-based diet, playing one of the most, arguably the most intense sport ever.
As a young person, he was actually in the national team, in Egypt national team, and he was amazing. And of course, that MS kind of like broke him, like got him down.
Definitely.
And then he came back. And the thing is, he's telling me, and when we sat together, and he explained to me, and he gave me resources, and that's the one thing that I want to share with people. Is like always, there's a lot of documentaries, a lot of books, a lot of resources out there. Before committing to a plant-based diet, just read about it.
Of course.
Just watch the and there's like easy documentaries out there, like The Game Changers on Netflix. They're like Forks Over Knives. These are like two starters.
Is that the Arnold Schwarzenegger backed one, The Game Changers? Was that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I heard that's. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I heard it's outstanding.
Freaking amazing. And the original document is 2008. It's not highly produced as The Game Changer, but that was 2007, 2008, and that started the movement. So when you do that, and you can read it and you can see what's there, you will be motivated to make the change. And I made the change.
And I want to interrupt you because somebody asked something interesting, and I want you to address this as well because I know it would come out. How will you address, this is from Ahmad Dennis Kojok, how will you address the most important issue of all, the pleasure of food? You're actually removing one of the most important things we have in our current lives, meat and chicken and fish. So please think about that.
It's a very valid question.
It is.
It's a very valid. So I will just finish my friend's story. So he did it. He kind of like introduced me to it, and I read about it, and I got sold to the idea, committed to it, and I felt better. Now, to answer the question of your friend, this is very important.
So to recap, your friend who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis went on a plant-based diet, doesn't suffer from multiple sclerosis symptoms, got it under control, told you about it, you read about it, you gave it a shot, transformed your life, and you've stuck with it ever since. I remember you told me you were sitting down having a burger while he was telling you that story, and it was...
that was the last burger.
The last burger, September, was it 15, 2013?
September 2013.
September 15, 2013. Okay, so to answer that guy's question...
Yes, it's a very valid point. Life is full of amazing pleasure. I mean, who doesn't like to eat chocolate every day, or pizza, or Burger King every single freaking meal? But you know, and I know that these pleasures have a very negative impact. And this is the whole thing. I mean, a lot of people enjoy smoking. A lot of people enjoy sniffing cocaine, right? But we know that there is a price to pay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
is it worth the trade-off?
Yes. I mean, it's hard, but I mean, why do people wake up every day and have to torture themselves into running for an hour? I mean, there's no pleasure in that.
No.
But your body feels the difference, and they want to continue with it. I mean, we would love to just sit on the couch watching television and just like stuff our face with delicious food every day. But it is, and by the way, there is a culture thing that is related to this question.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay.
And I find that actually in the Arab world and like in our part of the world. They will say, "Ya haram alik, sex is haram, alcohol is haram, drugs is haram, everything is haram. The only thing that we do in our life is food." So, and they have a point. That's the only...
And you're taking it away.
It is the only permissible, it's the only permissible pleasure.
Yeah.
And you're taking it. So it actually tells a lot about our culture. It's like, how is everything else is haram and not permissible, but food is the only thing. So of course you're putting all of your instincts and your pleasure in this thing, in this bechamel, in this.
So what you're saying is cut the food, just have sex, drink alcohol, do drugs. Is basically, no, I'm kidding.
It's a healthy lifestyle.
Adopt a plant-based, narcotics-full lifestyle.
Yes.
Bassem. One thing, though, that also, and I asked you this, you said, like, give that recipe you told me of that salad, and you're like, it's the most delicious. Something people have to understand is meat, fish, everything is delicious. I barbecue almost daily. I eat cheese. I'm on a keto diet. I love meat, fish, and all of that stuff. But to think that you can't have absolutely delicious other things, too, is very bizarre. In fact, it's with the amount of spices you can add and different flavorings. Give that recipe you told me.
And before that, I want to tell you that people don't understand that, like, a lot of people, including me, when I was eating meat and cheese and everything, I never found vegetables delicious.
Really?
It was like, the salad just we put there and we keep it to the end.
It's a formality. Yeah, you have to. You just have to.
But you know what happens when you actually switch your food?
You crave it.
Your taste buds change.
They do.
And when your taste buds changes,
they do.
Suddenly, the greens, they taste sweeter. Seriously, I mean, like you enjoy it. You enjoy
it. True.
I seriously, I like now I eat a banana. I just, oh, that's so sweet. And if you give me like a piece of chocolate, it will shock me because that's too sweet. That would even faze me in the past. But now, like I used to have, like many Egyptians, 4 spoons of sugar in my cup of tea.
Oh my goodness, the sweetest tea in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. I know
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you put like half a spoon, I wouldn't.
You can't have it. It's all acquired. It's acquired taste. I'm from the keto diet. What I can tell you is that I loved lasagna, pizza, all of this stuff. I would do a cheat day, and I'd be so excited, and I'd go crazy. Ice cream, pizza, the whole thing on my cheat day. I would feel horrible, absolutely horrible. That I don't do cheat days anymore. People are like, "Don't you miss bread?" I'm like, it just the feeling, the bloatedness, I just can't take it anymore. And it's true. You adapt, your taste buds adapt, and you start to become more sensitive to flavor once you start neutralizing your palate from processed craziness.
Yes, and about the recipe, I have this bowl that I do daily. And when I talk about bowl, I'm talking about bowl.
Yeah.
Angar like a bowl, all right? And what I do, I have like a very large base of greens, whether that is arugula or spinach or both. And this is all, by the way, like almost raw, yani. Okay. And then from all of that bed of greens, I start adding stuff. So I add the beans, I add avocado, I add nutritional yeast, beautiful flavor. I add maybe flaxseed, a little bit of berries, nuts, and then I would kind of like saute, kind of like on the saucepan, kind of like have a tofu or tempeh, depending on how much protein you want to take. If you're working out, I put a lot because I work out a lot. And then I do that, and I do it in the saucepan as I'm cutting there, and I'm putting everything, the cucumbers and everything. And then I put whatever in the saucepan of the tofu and tempeh or seitan in there. And this bowl, I can eat all day.
It sounds freaking delicious, honestly.
And it's so filling. And you have this, and then you have the beans,
no
doubt. And then you have the oatmeal, and you discover something. You do not have what I call the food coma anymore.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't. You don't get those glycogen spikes. Those that's the best.
Or the very high protein, high fat kind of like, I don't know. It dumbs me down.
If you're not used to the when you first start doing keto and it's like high protein, high fat, you're sleeping. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because your body still is functioning on glycogen as an energy source and not on fat. So you're just like for the first week, I was walking, I'm like, how is this diet going to make me lose weight?
Exactly.
But then, of course, your body transfers.
You don't have the transfer. You kind of like, you feel lighter all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, obviously, because you're taking out the fat, you're taking out the carbs, the heavy carbs, and you're replacing them with much more. Bassem, I want to end on this question. First of all, people are asking.
Ending. Oh my God! I mean, we can go on for another.
We could go. I want to bring you. I want to ask. Can I bring you back on the show in the future?
100%.
Okay, because there's so much more we can talk about.
This is an announcement. This is gonna be a regular feature of the show.
Yes,
it's gonna be Bassem. It's kind of like Jack in Black kind of thing.
Yeah. Back in Black. Is that how it is? Okay. Somebody asked me to plug it again, so I'm going to plug it again. Go to plantb.tv on Instagram. So go to Instagram.
No, it's a website.
It's a website.
It's a website.
Oh, okay. So just go to Plant.
It's a website that has an Instagram and it has a YouTube channel. It has everything. Okay. And on the website, there's everything. There's the recipes, and it has a full.
Let me write that.
It's a full Arabic and a full English site.
I'm going to write it right now in a very rudimentary fashion. Please excuse me, everyone, because this isn't something I had prepared, but so that everybody can see. Let me just pull that up, the name and how to spell it and all of that stuff. Where is it? There we go. No, that's the chat window. I wanted to write it down. Show overlay. This is, once again, this whole show, I don't have a team. There we go. Text, let's bring that in. And it is, so you want to go visit www.plantbased, B.TV is the name of the website. I misspelled it. Let me put the
and we have funny videos, and we have educational videos, and we have recipes, and we have a full website in English and full website in Arabic. You can choose. I really wanted to do this as a bilingual experience for people.
Okay. And it's incredible because, once again, the beautiful thing about Plant B, and I love the play on words instead of Plan B, Plant B, is that there's the Instagram, the YouTube, and the website. Between the three, I think you've made every resource available for somebody to dive into this lifestyle.
Yeah, and I always tell people, hey, it's a Plan B. Try it.
You have nothing to lose.
When people say, you want to take away my shawarma, I'm not interested in your shawarma sandwich. I'm really.
And you told me that cheat meals are. You told me, like, if you have a burger once every now and then, if you feel a craving, it's totally fine.
It's not the end of the world. It's not a cult. It's not a cult. I tell people, if you're healthy, it's what you do 95% of the time, right?
Okay.
And if you want to cheat every now and then, it's fine. If you're sick, we advise to go almost as 100%, so you can get better. And once you get better, بالسلامة, بالهنا والشفا, you can do kind of like, live life a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want everyone to know that I'm enthusiastic about this. I actually want to try it myself. I'm always trying to find something better. And it is out of my comfort zone, like I discussed at the beginning of the episode, so it gives me even more reason to try it. But at the moment, it's hard to get groceries. I went on Whole Foods yesterday. I wanted to surprise you and try to order, because I'm ordering groceries online. Can't find a delivery window. It's going to be hard to start this now, but as soon as things calm down, I am going to do the 21-day plan. And I
would go to Ralph for you personally and get you the food.
I would never put you at that risk. But trust me, I will do it.
By the way, I'm doing it every day.
I will do it. But what if you get sick on the one trip you do for me? And then people are like, a Lebanese man brought down an Egyptian icon. I do not want to take that responsibility. Egypt is very dear to us here on the show. One person's been asking me a question, and I'm going to end with you on this. Would you have still gone vegan for the animals and the planet if you were able to eat healthy, eating meat and dairy? Would you still have done it for the animals, or is that not a consideration for you?
I think I don't know. I mean, it's a different question, because I didn't really think about the planet. I didn't really think about the animals when I did it. Mm-hmm. I felt the effect on me personally, and through that process, I said, we don't need to eat animals, so why? It's a double win, It's a double win. Right? It is. So it's kind of like, and I think this is why in my platform, I never talk about animals or the planet, and not because I don't believe that we can make an impact,
but to make it accessible.
Because I think humans they care about themselves, and when they see the effect on themselves, they can be more motivated. Because for many people, whatever happening to the animals, whatever happening to the planet, is too remote for them.
True.
So if I can bring it more in a personal sense, they can change themselves and then change the world.
What a great. I mean, we got to end it. We got to end it there. You can change yourselves and then change the world. Bassem, I have literally like 10 other things I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to, as soon as possible, bring you back on the show, because this has been one of the funnest episodes for me. I do want to thank you so much. It is a great honor to sit with you and to be able to gain from your perspective and your knowledge. And I think the sentiment is shared by everybody. The comment section, people are loving this. So thank you so much. And for everybody who doesn't know, we're both in Los Angeles, quarantined, so we still can't see each other. So practice social distancing. Stay safe, everybody. Bassem, did I say anything wrong in there as a cardiac surgeon? Am I saying the right thing?
No, man. You're good. You're amazing. And I just want to, you've been like, what do we call blowing my horn? Is that the correct?
Have I? Is that what it is? I guess so.
Yeah.
Kissing your ass. I know, but it's true. I'm a fan.
A lot of people don't know that, like, I was actually watching your shows, and I was like watching the stuff online from you, and I've been a huge fan of yours, Nemr. And
that is ridiculous.
And when I got your freaking number, I was so excited. and if you remember, the first thing I told you on that WhatsApp chat is like, dude, I want to work with you. I want to tour with you. I want to do something with you. You have been one of my very, very favorite comedians, and I love what you do, and I love the transformation that you have done. And I would love to do a project with you, live, touring, and whatever.
I love
Let's
that
fucking make it happen.
I love that you're saying it as if As if I'm the one who's going to consider it. This is the same thing right back at you. And let's give a shout out to our good friend Karma Ekmekji, who put me and her friend with you. I think they put us in touch. And I remember Karma asked me, would you be interested, because you both live in LA, would you be interested in getting to know Bassem Youssef? And I said, I would love to, but first ask him. They're like, I'll give you his number. I'm like, ask him, because maybe he doesn't even know who the hell I am.
Dude, fuck, man.
I swear to God.
I've been watching for years.
When you told me that, I was like, what?
I mean, remember that joke that you said about, like, you know, that your father and your uncle kind of like fighting over the bill,
yes,
and all of the different techniques that they do in order. They kind of like
that's my old school material that I've taken offline. That when you mentioned that, I'm like, this guy really is legit, because I haven't had that's been offline since 2014. So this guy really does know my stuff.
I know, dude. I know your stuff a long time ago, man. And I love it. And okay, and I'm gonna spill the beans here.
Okay.
And I tell you, like, when I received. Finally, I received like a WhatsApp message from you.
Okay.
You know, when you have the notification, you have the name that you actually put on your WhatsApp name.
It's Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone. I was like, why is Sharon Stone messaging me? And why is she saying, hey, Habibi, how are you? I was like, why?
I put Sharon Stone as my name so that people on WhatsApp are like, holy shit, like they open it up and then they're like, what? So yeah, my name on WhatsApp is Sharon Stone. Not on this WhatsApp number. This WhatsApp number, it's the show number. But
I wanted to send back, hey, cross your legs for me very soon.
I'm gonna do that from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, Bassem Youssef, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Unforgettable, and can't wait to have you back. Thank you so much. And we will definitely be doing shows and stuff together. That would be a privilege and an honor for me. Thank you. You take care, brother. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye. What an incredible guest, Bassem Youssef. It doesn't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much. You know what this portion of the show is right now. This is when we start to take our callers. Thank you for checking out that clip. If you liked what you saw, there's a lot more to check out. Check out the channel. Check out the videos. There's lots of interviews like this. And this one was the best one. I don't know which one this is because I just attached it to but this was great because you watched it.